Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We think you'll know this first song.
We're continuing to honor Aretha Franklin, so please sing along with us.
Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking is for a little respect, just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. I ain't gonna do you wrong while you're gone. I ain't gonna do you wrong, 'cause I don't want it. All I'm asking is for a little respect, just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. I'm about to give you all my money, but all I'm asking in return, honey, is to give me my promise when you get home. Just a little bit, just a little. Your kisses sweeter than honey, and guess what? So is my money, and all I want for you to do for me is to give it to me real, just a little bit, just a little bit. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, J-K-T-C-B. Whoa, baby, little respect.
Just a little bit,
Oh, I get tired,
just a little bit,
but I keep trying.
just a little bit,
You're running out of fools, and I ain't lying.
just a little bit.
Respect, just a little bit, just a little bit, respect.
Good morning, everyone. I really appreciate the falsetto of John Paul here, embodying Aretha. Thanks, music team. That was so fun. Good morning, everyone. Happy Labor Day weekend to you. So we give thanks this weekend, especially to those of you that keep the wheels of our culture turning through the activity of your labor and your work. And thank you so much. So we celebrate all the people that are working and providing these wonderful services that we hold dear and take advantage of in our day-to-day lives. So thank you for the work that you do in this world and however way it shows up. And so we welcome everyone that's tuning in via YouTube this morning. Good morning to you, and just so glad that you're all here this morning. Thank you for sharing your Labor Day weekend with us. And my name is Reverend Cheryl Myers, and it is my absolute joy to be here with you. So let's take a deep breath. Let's take a deep breath and just feel ourselves fully here and present as we breathe consciously. Yeah. So as we breathe consciously, we just feel our bodies sink into the chair beneath us, and we're letting our bodies and our minds know that this is our time. This is our time to turn away from external things and instead to focus our attention on our heart and opening our heart to the joys of spiritual community, for the connection here. And so I just invite you as you settle in to this time to set an intention to leave here today knowing more fully the truth of what you are. That you open your heart and mind to the truth of your magnificence. And so I just invite you to breathe into that intention. And thank you so much for being here this morning. Your presence makes a difference. And for this time, we are so grateful. And so it is. Amen. Amen. So if anyone is here with us for the first time this morning, if you would raise your hand really nice and tall, and our ushers will come and bring you a welcome packet. And if you fill out that card on the top and place it in the offering bag, we'll just simply add your email address so that you can receive our Friday afternoon online newsletter that tells you the scoop that's happening here at Unity of Gaithersburg. There's so much going on, isn't there? Yeah. All right, let's stand and sing a song together.
I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing peace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing joy today.
Please take an opportunity to greet your neighbor, offer a handshake, and ask for a hug.
I'm choosing heaven today.
Please make your way back to your seats.
I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today.
Please be seated.
Good morning, Unity of Gaithersburg. A fresh new month. We got a lot of activities this month. My name is Bill Sunderman, and this week's transformation opportunities are detailed in our community newsletter, and you can receive next week's edition by sharing your email with us. So pause now to completely silence your cell phones. Thanks. Well, tomorrow, we march in the 80th annual Gaithersburg Labor Day Parade. Wow. We haven't been around for 80 years, but we're making a break in it here. So wear your tie-dye shirts and comfy shoes to march the 1 mile, that's right, 1 mile, it goes fast, parade through downtown Gaithersburg. Sign up today in the back of the sanctuary for us to get an accurate count, as well as contact information of who's joining the fun. And we'll meet in the Lake Forest Mall parking lot near the intersection of Russell and Odenthal roads at 11:30 a.m., and a bus will take us to our parade spot from there. So make sure you bring water and sunscreen, and see you there, rain or shine. If it's raining, you might want to bring an umbrella. So now, mark your calendars as we celebrate Silent Unity's World Day of Prayer on Thursday, September the 13th. And the theme this year is Courage to Heal, Courage to Heal. Unity of Gaithersburg will open this day of continuous prayer with a Holding the Light Sacred Circle at 7:15 p.m. on Wednesday, September 12th. And on Thursday at 7:15 p.m., we'll close with a meditation service in the prayer chapel. Sign up in the back of the sanctuary or on our website to participate in our 24-hour vigil. And September the 30th is hosting our Friendship Sunday and Fall Homecoming. Wow, I told you it's going to be a big month. Bring a friend or two to Sunday service and stay afterwards to enjoy an outdoor coming home celebration. We'll have live music from Ron Land's band called The Crossing, and a delicious potluck lunch, along with a youth bake sale, silent auction, bookstore sidewalk sale, games and activities for all ages. Sign up in the back of the sanctuary to bring a potluck lunch item. If you'd like to volunteer to support this event, please also sign up at the back table or on our website. Bring your friends and family, dress casually, and come to this special day of community on the grounds of our beautiful spiritual home. And on Sunday, October the 7th, we will honor the legacy of Frank Francis of Assisi as we share a slideshow during the service of the animals we hold most dear. Submit up to 3 digital photos of your beloved pets to communications@unityofgaithersburg.org. That's communications@unityofgaithersburg.org to be included in this heartwarming expression of our love and appreciation. And please send them in JPEG format. Deadline to submit photos is September the 30th. Would you like to deepen your commitment to the spiritual journey and become a voting member of this wonderful community? If that speaks to your heart, there'll be a new member class on Saturday, October the 6th, from 10 a.m. to 11:03 p.m. Sign up on a website for the back table if you plan to attend. Deadline to sign up is September the 30th, as we will need an accurate count for lunch and supplies. And one last announcement, the Infinite Abundance Prosperity class set to begin on Tuesday has been postponed until further notice. And now, please center yourselves as we reflect together on today's daily word. The word for today, the focus is positive attitude. Positive attitude. The affirmation, I align my thoughts with the truth. My state of mind greatly influences my experience of life. If I feel sad or troubled, I consider how my attitude is affecting my perception and interactions with others. Are my thoughts supporting me in being confident, successful, and positive, or am I blocking my good? When I'm ready for an attitude adjustment, I align my thoughts with the truth. I am divine, capable, whole, loved, and supported. I call upon the infinite intelligence to I am to guide me. As I allow this wisdom to flow, I experience a deeper awareness of the faith, strength, wholeness, and life that is my true nature. Uplifted and inspired, I maintain a positive attitude and bring love to all that I do. With this mindset, I gratefully see goodness everywhere. And from John 8:32, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And now let's prepare for meditation by singing All Is Well.
So let us breathe together, deeply and consciously. And let us just begin to follow the movement of the breath in and out. Notice where your physical body meets the chair beneath you. And allow your body to become heavy and relaxed. Just breathe in and out, consciously noticing. And begin to focus the breath into the heart space. Breathing in and out of the space surrounding your physical heart. Breathing in and out. And just allow any busy thoughts that are a distraction to just float on by like a cloud in the sky. And just notice that as you focus your attention on the movement of the breath, that it brings your awareness to this present moment instead of the busyness of thoughts that are based in the past or what needs to get done in the future. Just allow the focus of the breath to bring you to present moment awareness. Breathing in and breathing out. Spending time in present moment awareness allows us to be fully available in our awareness, moment to moment. And in that moment to moment awareness, we can use a technique called pausing before we respond to the external world. For as we are in present moment awareness, we release knee-jerk responses, reactivity, and instead grant ourselves the space to make a conscious choice. So just keep breathing into present moment awareness, into your heart space. Feeling your awareness right here and right now with each breath, moving in and moving out. And I just invite you to silently affirm, I am now in this present moment. I am now in this present moment. And so as we move now into a time of silence, I invite you to continue to practice present moment awareness. And if it supports you to silently affirm that affirmation, continue to do so. As we move into a time of silence, breathing consciously, moment to moment. I am now in this present moment. Just keep breathing consciously. And I just invite you to move into the rest of your day, continuing to be awake and aware, moment to moment. Each conscious breath allows us the opportunity to be here right now. And in that present moment awareness, we make conscious choices to be love, to be peace, to be grateful and joyful. In present moment awareness, we are so much more aware of all there is to be grateful for. So just take a deep breath into your heart. And when you're ready, just gently open your eyes. And for present moment awareness, for our precious breath, we are so grateful. And so it is. Amen.
Move through my day, light and free.
incidents I can recall. Too many things to remember them all. Lives that have shaped me and taught me so well, led me to where I could see. And I've been in places where nothing looked right. I could not correct things, try as I might. A change in perspective was all I would need to transform the darkness to light. Well, I don't know what happened, I can't say just when, but I got the freedom to choose love again. I've held strong opinions, not all of them kind, but I know what I want now. And I'm changing my mind. When I get angry with someone I know, it's not often clear what is hurting me so. If I relinquish my need to be right, perhaps I can set us both free. And if I thought something for all of this time, that doesn't mean I can't turn on a dime. I'm taking a new look at just who I am and everything I want to be. Well, I don't know what happened, I can't say just when, but I got the freedom to choose love again. The things I held on to, well, they're no longer bind. I'm feeling the power of just changing my mind. Can I believe things in the past could have little or no effect on me? What I receive is based more on what I hold true about me. I'm being set free. Well, I don't know what happened, I can't say just when, but I got the freedom to choose love again. The more that I practice, the more that I find the course of the future lies in changing my mind. I'm just changing my mind. Oh, I'm just changing my mind.
Thank you, Jim. I I do think that was a Jim Goldstein original. Let's give him some more love on that. Well, I actually have a Christmas joke. I'm seeing some Christmas things displayed already, so I thought, well, I think it could be appropriate. Well, actually, it was shortly before Christmas, and a businessman was anxious to get home. And the business trip had been grueling, and he was in a terrible mood. And the airport loudspeakers were blaring Christmas carols he was sick of hearing, and he thought the decorations were tacky. And the worst decoration, he thought, was this plastic mistletoe that was hung over the luggage scale. And being in a grumpy mood, he said to the woman at the counter, "You know, even if I weren't married, I wouldn't kiss you." And the attendant said, "Well, that's not what it's for. It's so you can kiss your luggage goodbye." Yeah, those of us that used to work for the airlines know that is a distinct possibility when you tick off a gate agent. Okay. Well, that's also a consequence of being a complainer, right? So I'm completing our summer series of Wise Words from TV All-Stars today with someone that I just think is a powerhouse. Her name is Iyanla Vanzant. How many of you have heard of Iyanla? Great, of course. Because you talk about someone that's a straight talker about what happens to us when we complain and when we choose to be a victim about things. And I just want to give you a little bit of history about Iyanla, and then I'm going to play a video for you and then just talk about some of what she teaches. Iyanla Vanzant is a renowned relationship coach, author, TV host, ordained minister, and motivational speaker. And how she got there is quite the journey. She was born as Rhonda Eva Harris in Brooklyn, New York on September 13th, 1953. And in 1983, after she was ordained as a priestess in the Yoruba tradition, which is an indigenous religion practiced by the Yoruba people of Nigeria and Benin, she renamed herself Iyanla, meaning great mother. She was born in the back of a taxi cab to a mom who was a railroad car maid and a father who was frequently arrested for petty crimes and was largely absent from her life. She went to live with relatives in 1957 when her mom died from breast cancer, and one of these paternal relatives raped her when she was only 9 years old. Her first child, Jamia, was born in 1969. She had two other children, Damon in 1974 and Nisa in 1979. She was in an abusive marriage where she was frequently assaulted, and she was finally able to leave him with her children in 1980 at the age of 27. After some time on public assistance, Rhonda enrolled in Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn, and in 1983, just 3 years later after she left her husband, she graduated with a bachelor's in public administration. 3 years later, she graduated from the City University of New York Law School with a Juris Doctor, summa cum laude. She spent 3 years from 1988 to 1992 as a public defender in Philadelphia. Feeling unfulfilled working in legal work, Vanzant started writing books. The first being Tapping the Power Within, A Path to Self-Empowerment for Black Women, which began a series of books designed to teach pre-employment skills to marginalized women. She eventually published 15 books, with 4 of them landing on the New York Times bestseller list. Her sales totaled 8 million copies. Oprah Winfrey heard Iyanla as a radio host and invited her to appear on her show about 20 times between 1998 and 1999. With the confidence gained from these appearances, Iyanla developed a TV program in 2001 that was canceled after 1 season. She blamed Oprah for the program's failure, and the two remained estranged for the next 10 years. Things continued to go downhill for Iyanla as book publishing contracts were canceled, and her husband of 7 years filed for divorce. After her firstborn child, Jamia, passed away to colon cancer on Christmas Day, 2003, at the age of 34, Vanzant fell into bankruptcy, a suicidal depression, and homelessness. This experience inspired another bestseller book, Peace from Broken Pieces, which led to a career revival and a public reconciliation between Iyanla and Oprah on TV in 2011. I watched that. I remember that. Iyanla Vanzant now hosts Iyanla Fix My Life on the Oprah Winfrey TV network. So Iyanla found New Thought when she was in a bookstore in New York City and discovered This Thing Called You by Ernest Holmes when it literally fell off the shelf in front of her. Then she read Spiritual Economics by Eric Butterworth and began attending services at Avery Fisher Hall, where Eric was then speaking. It was through Eric Butterworth that she discovered Unity and Charles Fillmore and many other New Thought teachers. It was a philosophy that made sense to her to the point where she became an ordained New Thought minister. She currently leads Intervision's Institute for Spiritual Development, a New Thought seminary founded previously with her daughter, Jamia. Here she trains spiritual leaders and ordained ministers near her home in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Wow, has this woman just risen from the phoenix, risen from the ashes? She's an amazing woman. She is so wise and has quite the direct and clear way of communicating with people. I'd like to give you a taste of that, of who she is and how she supports others through the wisdom she shares in that very clear and direct Iyanla Vanzant way. So here's the video of Iyanla.
So it's not selfish to put yourself first.
No, it's self-full.
It's self-full.
It's self-full to be first, to be as good as possible to you, to take care of you, to keep you whole and healthy. That doesn't mean that you disregard everything and everyone, but you want to come with your cup full. You know, my cup runneth over. Yeah. What comes out of the cup is for y'all. What's in the cup is mine. But I got to keep my cup full.
Don't we do that? Don't we take on other people's stuff and make it about us when we don't know that we matter? When you don't know you matter, you will make somebody else's crazy about you. You got your own stuff to handle. You don't have to take on anybody else's.
You know, there isn't a person you can ask in the world at some point where they didn't say, you know, I just find it difficult to trust people.
Right.
But what you say, that's not really the issue.
No.
Learning to trust other people.
No.
The real issue is
trusting yourself. Trusting yourself that you're going to make the right choices. Trusting yourself that you can hear that voice and follow it. Trusting yourself.
That when people betray you, abandon you, don't acknowledge you, you will...
I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'll be okay. What about boundaries? People violate you when you don't have clear boundaries because you don't tell them how to behave in your life. And they run amok. They run amok because you don't have clear boundaries.
You know, a lot of people hold secrets about themselves from their family.
Guilt and shame, guilt and shame. And teaching people how to be people, love people, and respect people enough to tell them the truth.
Okay.
Tell them the truth. Respect them. Here's a big story I wish everybody, I'm just a single mom and I can't. That story is not helping you. That may be a reality. Here's the principle. State the facts, speak the truth. Here's the fact. I'm raising children without the benefit of a partner. That's the fact. Here's the truth. Right where I am, the fullness of God is, and me and God is a majority. Most of us have a death urge. And we see the guy coming, warning, slap, right in the middle of his head. And we said, oh, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to change it. I'm going to reshape it. And we got to understand, love doesn't have to fix you, change you. When you see crazy coming, cross the street. Cross the street.
Don't you love that? When you see crazy coming, cross the street. Just remember that. So obviously this is a very clear and wise woman. Okay, but I want to give you a backstory. I want to go back to what happened between her and Oprah because she uses that as a very powerful teaching point. So, okay, as we stated before, Oprah saw this powerhouse and invited her onto her show. And Iyanla was on the show so much they had her join the Change Your Life faculty that Oprah had created. And what happened from all of this success, because she was on the stage with master teachers, her popularity was growing because her wisdom was resonating. And so what happened from all of this was that she got an offer from another network to do a show of her own that was canceled after one season, right? And she blamed Oprah for the program's failure. And again, they were estranged for about a decade. But Iyanla explains that what was happening underneath this situation was what took her to do her inner healing work. And she will tell you, you have got to do your inner healing work. And she said that in the midst of all the success that she was experiencing, she did not get her self-worth. She didn't get it. Here she had written, at that point, 13 books, traveled all over the country, had been on Oprah's show repeatedly, but she still didn't know her own sense of self-worth. She said she was trying to live into a place that wasn't true for her. The outer was great, but her inner knowing of who she truly was wasn't in place. She was living a lie, and eventually, she said she crashed and burned. She said she could have blamed leaving Oprah's show on the external circumstances. And then, of course, this network was offering her a whole lot of money to have her own show. No, she said she couldn't honestly blame it on that. No, it was about her not knowing her own worth. She said she was sabotaging her good because she had been taught she had to work hard for anything she got. Now, can anybody relate to that? Mm-hmm. The success with Oprah came to her so easily, and she said she messed it up because it didn't fit into her paradigm. Her beliefs about herself and her abilities and how the world works were not in alignment with her success. So she says she didn't know how to receive a gift. She didn't know how to receive a blessing without working so hard for it. And when things came to her easily, she said she blew them up. She invalidated them due to low self-worth and deserving. And so now one of Iyanla's core teachings is that we have to become aware of our stuff, the ways that we sabotage, accept it, and work with it. We have to tell the truth about our stuff. She gives that truth about the stuff that says that we're unworthy, that we're not enough, we're not deserving, we're less than. Otherwise, she goes, we're in denial and we can't move forward. And we'll continue to sabotage ourselves and play smaller than we're capable of playing. We have to learn and claim what we truly are. We have to discover what makes us live less than our truth. And she challenges us to look at and explore what are the beliefs we live by? What are the thoughts and feelings that cause us to sabotage? And that's where our work is. And of course, to many of us, this isn't rocket science in Unity. We talk about, our thoughts and how impactful they are. We have a third principle out of the 5, here in Unity. And that third principle is thoughts held in mind produce after their kind, right? Thoughts that we hold produce our experience of life. How are we doing with that? How are we doing with that practice? We hear it a lot. And so Iyanla wrote a book. Her latest book is called Get Over It, Thought Therapy for Healing the Hard Stuff. And she said, and Get Over It, how important it is to get over our negative thought patterns. And she's not saying get over it as a way to be dismissive or insensitive, but to know that we can shift our stinking thinking and get over ourselves. The nature of our thoughts determines the direction of our lives, folks. The nature of our thoughts determines the direction of our lives. And, this past weekend, we celebrated legend Aretha Franklin and John McCain. And I did not watch the whole 6 hours of Aretha's memorial. I mean, a woman that huge in legacy and light and presence and talent had to have a service that was lengthy. But what comes to mind to me every time I think of Aretha is the evening that she was at the Kennedy Center for the Kennedy Center honorees, and Carole King was one of the honorees. You remember that? And Carole King wrote the song, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, and Aretha made it a legacy. And it catches my throat every time I think of it. Of course, Obama, President Obama was up there crying, yeah. That Aretha was at the piano, and she was wearing this big fur coat, and she sat at that piano and she owned it. It was so amazing. And I always thought she played that song like a gospel hymn. It was just so incredible. And then I remember the moment that she stands up and she takes the microphone off the mic that was across the piano, and she stands up and she drops her coat, and the audience goes crazy because Aretha is owning it. That's to me, that is such an example of someone that owns their power. And that's what Iyanla is trying to get us to see. That you can't tell me that at some point in Aretha's career that she didn't have fear and she didn't have self-doubt. But she stood in her power and her knowing, and she claimed her greatness. And so Iyanla is trying to get us to claim our greatness. And then, and I watched the whole service yesterday from the Washington Cathedral for John McCain. And I can't always tell you that John McCain and I, we had the same political views always. But I tell you, this man was a true patriot. This man was passionate about his country, his love for country, and his commitment to being respectful and in integrity and reach across the aisle. Love his country more than party. This is a man that stood in his power and his greatness. See, I think we can point to examples in our world of people that are claiming their power. And the thing is, they're ordinary people that have said yes to whatever's theirs to do to express their greatness. And what Iyanla is trying to teach us is that we too can do that. But what it's going to take from us, folks, is to do our inner work and to be aware of the thoughts we're thinking. Do you know that we think 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, but we're only aware of about 700? And so Iyanla wants to encourage us to get conscious and to do the work to look at what's holding us back. Because, a belief is just a thought fueled by emotion. When we repeatedly think a thought, it will eventually become attached to an emotion, and you'll see an image in your mind, and that's what gets stuck in our subconscious, folks, and it needs to be released. And so Iyanla, in this new book, Get Over It, declares a couple of techniques that I thought, that's so unity, it's so great. Prayer and affirmations. Those are two tools that she teaches in this book. And of course, it's affirmative prayer. And we talk about that in unity, right? Okay, in affirmative prayer, the antithesis of affirmative prayer is when we beg and beseech and plead and supplicate to a God outside of us, right? And so in unity, what we teach is affirmative prayer, where we affirm the truth, whether we feel it or not. And then when you sit across from a prayer chaplain, they're going to affirm that truth with you, whether you feel it or not. Regardless of the story that you tell them. It doesn't mean they're dismissing you, but in their own beautiful, holy way, they're telling you to get over it. Yeah. And so we get over it when we claim the truth of what we are. And I'm a big fan, as you know, of release statements, which Unity calls denials, because sometimes it's difficult for us to access that truth, that affirmation, because we got some, stuff on it. The analogy I use, the whipped cream on top of poo-poo. I know, it is not pretty. But our stuff isn't pretty, is it? No, it's not. So often, I know that I will need to declare a statement that says, you know what? This is how I'm feeling right now, and I'm going to release the power I'm giving that. That's not the truth of what I am. And instead, I'm going to affirm the truth of my being. I am a whole being, whether I feel like it or not. I am peaceful, whether I feel like it or not. Because guess what, folks? In the realm of the absolute, which is the truth, peace is you. Wholeness is you. Love is you. And so what we do in prayer is to live knowing. That's the purpose of prayer. The purpose of prayer is for us to claim the truth of what we are and to live knowing that truth. And so Iyanla talks about that, and she talks about the power of affirmations, because affirmations are statements of truth. They're already done, and we speak them in the present tense. And so you know all this, don't you? Don't you? Yeah. And she also talks about a technique called EFT. Are you familiar with EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique? It's tapping. Yeah. She's a big fan of tapping, where you tap on the meridians used in acupuncture for over 5,000 years, those energy points, and it frees up the energy stuck there. So if you're not familiar with EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, I invite you to explore that. She's a big fan of Tai Chi. She's a big fan of breath work because she thinks we're negative because we're oxygen deprived. And pausing, what we practiced in meditation. Pausing. How much freer we would be and how much less drama we'd create in our life if we just took a moment to pause before we reacted. And I know that's very difficult for me to do if I'm not in present moment awareness, right? We get knee-jerky. And so Iyanla teaches, do your meditation work, folks. Spend some time in the silence. Practice pausing. And she also recommends, finally, and there are many more things in her book, but she recommends listening to music without lyrics. The example she used is, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's like, really? There's always sunshine, whether they're gone or not. And I just remember the one, I can't live if living is without you. Remember that? I'm dating myself. Okay, yeah. Especially if we're in those vulnerable places, don't listen to sucky music like that. Just don't do it. If you're going to listen to music with words, listen to words that affirm the truth of what you are. Listen to new thought music, positive music, Jim Goldstein music. Respect. Songs that affirm the truth of what you are. I think you get the point. So Iyanla Van Zandt is a gift to us. And I invite you to seek her out if this resonates for you. And so this week, let's practice what she's taught us. Let's declare an intention to get conscious and become aware of the thoughts and feelings and beliefs we have, folks, that sabotage ourselves. Let's do our work. And allow people like Aretha and John McCain and other people in our life that we admire to inspire us to be our greatness. Because our greatness, every single person in this room is great. And your greatness just shows up in your unique, beautiful way. It doesn't have to mean that you're a political leader. It doesn't have to mean that you're on the stage holding a microphone singing. It might mean that. But what is it for you? So let's follow Iyanla's teaching of prayer and affirmations to get over it. Explore ways to uplift yourself and create more balance and well-being in your life. And I got to tell you right now, I think most of you know that my mom is very ill right now, and I'm really needing to hold my center. And I downloaded the Calm app. Have you heard of the Calm app? It saved me. You know, I'm a meditator, and I've been meditating for years, but sometimes when I get off center, I need a little bit of guidance. And this woman named Tamara Levitt, I think her name is, her voice is like, and there's the Calm for anxiety, the Calm for stress, 7 days of stress. There are all these beautiful programs. I just highly recommend the Calm app. Walking in nature, it's getting beautiful. It's going to be fall soon. Let nature feed your soul. Just take forward action, folks, to recognize the ways we sabotage our good. Because you know what? We all deserve to experience our greatness because we're all great and we're all worthy and deserving. So let's affirm together. I let go and claim my worth. I get over it, and the way is open for my good to flow. Thank you, Iyanla. And so it is.
Thank you. And she is the highlight of this month's Unity Magazine. Go ahead and read it. It's good stuff. All righty. Well, Now's the time for us to give from our unlimited abundance and open hearts. As you pause to place your tithe or constant giving card in the offering bag, or give online as you join us via YouTube. Here's some prosperity wisdom from Celebrate Yourself by Eric Butterworth. Pause often to remember that you have dominion over your thoughts. Keep yourself in the thought of oneness, and you will be sustained mentally, emotionally, and physically. You will live deeply, fully, and abundantly. Let's now affirm our offering blessing together. Divine love, I am, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am so grateful.
You better think about what you're trying to do to me. Think, let your mind go, let yourself be free. Let's go back, let's go way down the way back when. I didn't even know you couldn't been too much more than 10. I ain't no psychiatrist, I ain't no doctor with degrees, but it don't take too much IQ to see what you're doing to me. You better think about what you're trying to do to me. Think, let your mind go, let yourself be free. Oh, freedom, 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 There ain't nothing you could ask I could answer, but I won't. But I was gonna change you or not if you keep doing things I don't. Better think about what you're trying to do to me. You better think, let your mind go, let yourself be free. People walk around every day playing games and taking scores, trying to make other people lose their minds. Well, be careful you don't lose yours. Or you better think about what you're trying to do to me. You better think, let your mind go, let yourself be free. You need me, and I need you. Without each other, there ain't nothing we can do. Oh, freedom, 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 ooh, freedom, freedom. You better think.
Oh, that was so fun. Let's stand and sing in our youth. I've got us coming together. I've got us coming together. One heart, one mind. Coming
Hi, everybody.
Please
you
be
can have
seated.
We studied the Unity Principles, the children's version, and Elijah's going to share that with us.
There's 5. God is all good and active in everything everywhere. I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. I do and give my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference.
Yes, you do.
Darn it.
So let's stand and bless our children. Thank you, Elijah. Together, you are the light of the world. Live as the light. Let's join hands and sing our peace song. Wonderful Labor Day, and don't forget to join us tomorrow to march in the parade. See you at 11:30 tomorrow. Happy Labor Day.
Doing it?
What you need, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. And all I'm asking is for a little respect, just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. Why you gonna do you wrong? Why you gone? I'm gonna do you wrong, 'cause I don't want to. And all I'm asking you for, a little respect, just a little real, 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 real. Just a little bit, just a little bit. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. G-P-G-C-P-O.